You got me.
I only spar Timmy.
You still hitting the bag and everything, huh?
I do a lot of rounds on the mix.
All time. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Test. One, two, three. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, 1, testing, 1. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing. Testing, testing. Yeah. I want to go through. Doesn't go up. Does it like good or? I don't know. I'm gonna go check. Testing, 1, 2, 3.
Fue al gimnasio de
Testing,
nosotros, de mi
testing,
papá y
1,
mío.
2, 3.
Parecía
Testing,
como que
testing,
tenía
1,
más
2,
edad
3.
porque estaba muy
Testing,
parecía como que
testing,
tenía
1,
más
2,
edad
3.
porque estaba muy
Testing,
muy
testing,
fornido
1, 2, 3.
para
Testing,
su edad y
testing.
very big.
Last 10 seconds, but just by size.
Canelo may be squarely focused on the present, but his confidence ultimately comes from his track record. Canelo won, but the disappointing lackluster bout exposed a problem in boxing today. Too often, the action. 21 William Skull. I don't accuse guys of running. The guy ran. Sometimes solving a deep-rooted problem demands bold action.
We in here.
It requires some
Testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, 1. Testing, 1. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, 1. Testing, 1, 2, 1. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, 3. Testing, testing.
The best in the house. The best in the house. With burger and chicken. With burger and chicken. Hey, baby. Chicken. Hey, baby. Chicken. Just got this done. Just got this done. We're gonna make this. So we think about it. We're gonna make this. So we think about it. Each day is another day closer to performance time. Then fight night is my turn to perform. And then layers all on me. The most important part of the fight, the Crawford is his camp. He's got to put on 21 pounds. That's what makes him even better.
زي كده. زي كده.
Yeah, what's the best way?
There's a stairs from there.
Okay. Yeah, what's the best way?
There's a stairs from there.
Okay, perfect.
What is that, Terrence Crawford? What we gonna do?
نزيح على هاي شوي.
A father's instincts never waver. And while for Canelo, a baby peacock may be his focus right now. His attention will soon turn toward his own loved ones.
My lion. Obviously scarf right now she's pregnant and
بدنا نجرب اول شيء في القادر على القادر على
تست مايك لا بلاش تخ لازم
For a champion boxer, the battle with time comes with a particularly vicious urgency. Las Vegas, Allegiant Stadium has every ingredient possible for the perfect wrestling in boxing. And it's going to be impossible for the perfect wrestling in boxing. And it's going to be on the platform that the whole
ايش قال لك الميزان ايش؟ ايش قال لك الميزان ايش؟ لا
انت تعرف شو صار؟ سكروها الكراسه هيدا اللي بتحطوا منه.
بس مو ملزقين كده؟
لا باينه عادي.
بس مو ملزقين كده؟
لا باينه عادي. لا باينه عادي. سو نايس. باينه عادي عادي. اسمعني كده. يعني انت وقف بجنب بس ابغى السرير. بس ابغى السرير.
Alvarez.
What's up, Danger?
This is Terrence Bud Crawford.
What's up, Danger?
They are the two best boxers in the world. Growing up, fighting became their life's work to turn dreams into destiny.
What's up, Danger?
All hail King Canelo! One of the ultimate
True super fight that only comes along once in a lifetime.
What's up, Danger?
Hello, fight fans! Las Vegas lives for high stakes, and this is as big as it gets. Super fights come around once a decade, maybe, and for the first time ever, the younger, bigger man with no excuses left. Then, challenger Terrence Crawford is looking for the kind of glory only risk can buy. Stepping up with no safety nets on old school terms. No catch weights, no max weights, but all of the smoke. Only in Las Vegas could a weigh-in feel. Oh, night, my man.
Yes, and what better way to celebrate Mexican Independence Day by featuring the iconic superstar Mexican world champion boxer Canelo Alvarez as he faced his toughest opponent to date, I believe, in two-fisted monster, the ferocious Terrence Bud Crawford. What a way to start this weekend.
You know, boxing history favors the younger man, the naturally bigger man, the A-side. Terrence Crawford is none of those things, but the real reason we're here is because he wouldn't settle for anyone else but Canelo Alvarez. What I want to know, what I think we want to know.
Two have been at press conferences around the world, but what changes as we approach the last stare down before they actually lace up the gloves tomorrow night?
Well, you know, I'm expecting both of these guys, both of their camps are invested in this fight very heavily.
Absolutely, and listen, we have 10 bouts ready to hit the scales in just moments, starting with our 6 YouTube prelims. Then it is the 4 main card fights. It is all going down tomorrow night at Allegiant Stadium at 9 Eastern.
Still his calling card, you know, out of there. And I believe it's his granite chin that has saved him in a lot of fights. If you can't hurt this man, there's no way you're going to be able to knock him out. So he has one punch.
Out a guy who had never been taken out before with one shot, broke his orbital bone. That's an exclamation point. That's the kind of thing that stays with you.
Yeah, Mark, and the way that Canelo broke Billy Joe's orbital bone is those feints. And if you guess wrong on those feints, you're going to pay. I've seen Terrence Crawford compared to Bivol and Mayweather, who both beat Canelo soundly, but Crawford's really a boxer puncher, and he's aggressive. He is there to be hit, and we're going to see if his chin can hold up.
But there was no substitute at all for experience, and the experience definitely goes to Canelo Alvarez. He has twice as many rounds in his career as does Terrence Crawford, and in the last 5 years, he's fought twice as many times. He said, you know, I'm 11-0 as a super middleweight, and Terrence Crawford may be 41-0 as a professional fighter, but he's never won in my division. Mario, back out to you.
Thank you, Jim. Let's turn our attention to the challenger, Terence Crawford. Mark, what is it that makes him so special?
First of all, you have the greatest switch hitter in the history of the game. Second, as high an IQ as he has, that's how
this element. Your thoughts?
Yeah. To win at everything, darts, dominoes, it doesn't matter what it is. Crawford's competitive drive has got him to this point, because it wasn't too long ago that Crawford was overlooked. None of the big promoters wanted to sign him. Top Rank didn't push him to the greatest heights. And to be on this stage in Netflix against Canelo Alvarez, a lot of credit to Terence Crawford.
I think this could
this training camp at 184 pounds. This isn't like a 6 or an 8-week training camp where he's built the mass to go up in 2 divisions that quickly. No, this has happened gradually, and he's learned and acclimated to fight with that mass. Now, I spoke with Sean Porter, who is a former opponent of Terence Crawford this week, about his power. He said, hey, yeah, it stings. If he stings, it's going to get your attention. Perhaps that's all Crawford needs pushed around in there. And if that's the case, then this is not a fight about size. It's a fight about skill. And
after this fight, we know where we're going and where we want to go, but this is how we got here.
Now, we've heated up considerably since then, but they got here. Talk to us about that.
I can't hear you.
I'm sorry, but as far as the fighters getting here, where they're at this moment, Canelo and Crawford, I know you got to spend some time with them recently.
We've arrived at this moment because Terence Crawford demanded it. What they'll do to win, even after tonight, how they'll be remembered. Canelo's gifts were abundant. The look, the power to make him whole. If Omaha was nowhere on the boxing map, then neither was Crawford. Had to move up and wait on no.
All right, gentlemen, it is time for the boxers to hit the scales. Let's toss it down now to Max Kellerman for Canelo versus Crawford weigh-ins.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the ceremonial weigh-in, Canelo Crawford. It all goes down in 24 hours at Allegiant Stadium. You feel that, right? Canelo fans? Crawford fans? You got that little nervous feeling, right? We're within 20. Akale.
However, he looks really well prepared and in really good shape, Antonio.
And you know what? I just saw Akili down in Florida, right there in Osceola Kissimmee. He fought a guy, came in the same way, 2 weeks notice, but he did fight well. He didn't get knocked out. So we'll see if he's in a little better shape than the last time. He looks good on the scale, though.
I'll tell you what, Mike, he's not skipping too many days at the gym right there. He looks like a well-prepared fighter.
158 pounds for Marco Verde.
He's one of those guys that came up under his gym. No, I'm sorry, I apologize. Santana. He's a guy well, 4 losses, lost to 3 undefeated fighters that he faced. I think this is a fight that he can possibly make it hard for his opponent, but he's going to have to show that he's more focused and dedicated than he's been in the past.
171.5 pounds for Rico Santana. And his opponent, Steven Nelson.
Mark?
Steve Nelson remembers being at a gas station in North Omaha as a teenager, gets jumped by 20 guys. Nelson was a really crucial sparring partner for Crawford. On his pro debut, 114. On his pro debut 114 days ago. On the bright side,
coming to the ring. To the scales, I should say.
On the bright side,
coming to the ring. To the scales, I should say.
Sultan Al Muhammad, one of two fighters, Mario. Al Muhammad, one of two fighters, Mario.
And capitalize on Tsutsumi's lack of experience and prove he's back and make his father proud once again.
129.5 pounds for Javier Martinez. And his opponent,
also, that's 5-0. Tsumi, remember that name from Japan.
In bad shape against White, improved his physique against Anthony Joshua, and I think this is going to be one of the best fights on the undercard. Ivan Ditchko is a real prospect, and Jermaine Franklin's going to be the toughest opponent of his career.
256 pounds for Jermaine Franklin Jr. And his opponent, Ivan Ditchko.
Looks like you, Cop.
All bald guys look alike, huh?
Some big boys.
Yeah, you see Jermaine Franklin talking about how he had the improved physique against Joshua. Now he's in that similar weight that he was against Dillian White. So he's taking a step backward now.
And in the middleweight division, first to the scale, Brandon Adams.
36 years did by a lot of layoffs from promotional problems, but he's back and he plans to do exactly what he did in the rematch back in 2020.
Sergey Bohachuk, this is a rematch of a very impressive fight. He had this fight with Brandon all the way sealed until he made one mistake and got clipped before the ending of the fight. So they're here. He's here to avenge that one loss, the first loss that started the slide. And then he was eventually faced with Virgil, and he...
Yeah, look, and after that loss, Bohachuk last year, one of the best fighters in the sport, Virgil Ortiz, Bohachuk drops him twice, and he loses the fight on the cards. A lot of people thought he won that fight.
Yes, myself included. He's one of the most exciting fighters right now. I think he's developed so quickly, so he's more than ready for the moment.
Up first, the lightweight division. First to the scale, Travis Crawford.
Travis Crawford, obviously no relation to Terrence Crawford. He's just 22 years old from Corpus Christi, Texas. He started training at 10 years old, rose to become a Texas Golden Gloves boxer, and now he gets to finish what he started on one of boxing's biggest stages. And this is big for him, guys, because in 2 weeks, he leaves for
His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh, and you see him there with Abel Sanchez, great trainer, training in the altitude, leaving the comfort of his home as a young kid. What I really like here too, Mario, is he's fighting just 28 days later. When you're a young fighter, right, Antonio? You want to get that activity going
as much as possible, which seems to be lost these days, unfortunately.
And to the middleweight division, first to the scale, Lester Martinez.
Now this is a fight I'm really excited about, gentlemen. I think Christian Mabilia is one of the most exciting fighters on the scene right now. But Lester Martinez coming in undefeated with 19-0, Mark.
I mean, he's a really important sparring partner, Lester Martinez. He lived on potatoes with a little bit of salt. When he was 12, he emigrated to France, learned how to fight, and he still fights very, very hungry. And Billy knows exactly what he wants here, a fight of the year. A knockout, the kind that can generate enough buzz to get him his ultimate dream, a fight with, guess
Also,
who? Canelo.
167 pounds for Christian Mbili.
Look at that physique, Mario.
Oh, no, all these guys are coming in jacked. Talk about a television-friendly fighter, though. You always get your money's worth.
We got to get you training in the gym alongside him.
But he's quite the athlete. He was a standout as a basketball player, played baseball, picked it up really quickly, is used to moments like this being with his father, being that his father was on these stages many, many times. He feels that Callum Walsh has been carefully selecting his opponents and is sort of a byproduct.
We were on the same Olympic team, really proud of these guys.
This is exactly the kind of fight that's missing from boxing. Two young, undefeated guys who are still prospects.
Dana there, that is Dana White's pet project. This guy has sold out the theater at Madison Square Garden. He's a big attraction, and Dana White believes in him.
And now we're going to take a closer look.
Will remain standing.
How many fighters have ever been called the best pound for pound?
Crawford is fighting a guy 3 divisions bigger, and he's a killer. But Crawford's special. Fighters like Crawford come every now and then.
There's a reason why he's the man. He is one of the best finishers in all of boxing.
Canelo looking to
He's the man. He is one of the best finishers in all of boxing.
Canelo looking to close the show.
Hovland's hurt. Hovland's down. Hovland's out. And the undisputed super middleweight.
We're going to make history. Terence Crawford, 3-time undisputed champion of the world.
I'm on our way.
Ladies and gentlemen, Terence Bud Crawford. 67
And he looks more well-prepared than ever.
Canelo Alvarez, he is the singular face of boxing. He's been the biggest star in the sport.
What I saw from the scales, man, the fight of the century. Wow.
Man, he just cut up his Nino Coppinger.
I mean, we keep hearing about how Terence Crawford and Canelo are the same size, but they're
also the kind of guy, it's wrestling strength. I mean, he wrestled as a kid. Right. He's really good at, he refuses to be manhandled.
You're exactly right. Again, a credit to his strength.
Yeah, look, I don't think the strength is going to be the issue for Terence Crawford. We saw in that round 2 against Errol Spence, he threw him across the ring. He's really strong.
You look like you trained for speed. Is that what happened?
Yeah, I train for everything. I get back in basic. I need to put everything in this fight.
Thank you, Canelo.
Till tomorrow.
Thank you, Bud.
Like I was saying, Mike, Charlo, Brooke, Khan, they all look great on the scales, but it ended up catching up with them later on in the ring.
Yeah, look, I think the key to this fight, Mario, is that Canelo's power is going to be a lot for Crawford to deal with. He goes to the body, he goes to the chin. Like we said earlier, Eddie Reynoso, when he's teaching you to throw those feints, he wants you to throw everything hard. So if you guess wrong, it's night-night.
Hey, I hear you guys talking a lot about Charlo. That was a fight that Crawford watched very intensely.
نرحب فيكم مشاهدينا. يوم مهم جدا، نص سنتي فوق، نص سنتي تحت، الملاكم برا. لسه كنت حسألك للناس اللي ما هي عارفة قد ايش مهم موضوع قياس الأوزان أو إن الملاكم يكون وزنه زايد أو ناقص، قد ايش مهم وقد ايش يفرق وقد ايش حساس الموضوع. يعني هو اليوم الوزن الفوق المتوسط وشفنا كروفورد وكانيلو لازم من 160 إلى 168. كروفورد كان 167 فزاد كيلو نص برا اي ملاكم بهالطريقه، فعشان كذا هذه الاوزان اللي هو فوق المتوسط اللي حيكون مصاحبة حماسية جدا.
شفت الأجواء بين كانيلو وكروفورد؟ حددتي مين حتشجع ولا لسه؟
حزنت مرة على كروفورد، يعني حزنانة على الناس كيف بتتفاعل معاه، لكن أحس إنه كروفورد من الشخصيات اللي هذا الشيء حيعطيه دافع. فليتس سي تومورو.
بس برضه كروفورد حيكونوا جماهير كبيرة في الملعب.
أكيد، لكن هنا شكله أغلبهم
بس كانيلو شعبية كانيلو كبيرة جدا كانيلو.
بس هذا الشيء حلو لكانيلو وحلو كمان لكروفورد، حيعطيه دعم
ممكن
وبوش أقوى.
أنت شفتي كيف نفسيته وهو قاعد يحيي؟
أنا أبغى أثبت العكس. أنا حتى سألوه إنه
هذا اللي شفناه إحنا مع كروفورد لما شاف تشجيع الجماهير لكانيلو، فقاعد يقول لهم كام داون. يوم طويل جدا، يوم طويل. بكره الحدث، بكره اليوم المنتظر الكل ينتظر عشاق الملاكمه
ما بين المكسيكي كانيلو والامريكي كروفورد. حيكون في حضور كبير للناس عشاق الرياضه والمهتمين، وكثير VIPs وكثير ناس متحمسه جايه تحضر هذا الايفنت الجميل. احنا
I mean, he's always in shape, but he looked really dialed in tonight.
Yeah, and look, Mario, we talk all about Terence Crawford as a dog. I've heard it about 1,000 times this week alone. Canelo Alvarez didn't get to this point in his career because he's not prideful. He hears everybody picking Terence Crawford, and he wants to prove them wrong. I think even if he has lost just a little bit of a step, he has one last great fight in him.
And that's the thing, Antonio. They're both dogs, like Mike said. They both got that mean streak. They both know how to finish strong, and they both have a lot of pride. So on paper, it should be an incredible fight.
Most definitely incredible. Not only that, I'm expecting the unexpected.
But he's almost 38. Ray Leonard was 32 when he fought Hagler. Spinks, 29 when he went up against Holmes. Pacquiao, 30 when he fought De La Hoya. A guy to go up that much at this point in his career is really rather extraordinary.
And
he thinks he's Superman.
Well, you know what, and he should, because he essentially jumped 3 weight classes. He made a pit stop at 154, and dare I say, he looked rather pedestrian that night. It was a very close, tough fight. Now you're asking him to go up yet another 2 weight classes against the undisputed
Joshua and Tyson Fury.
I'm not even so concerned about the weight, because I think Crawford is a very strong guy. Obviously, it is a factor. The inactivity, I think, plays a bigger factor to me. Your thoughts?
You know, I would have wanted to see him get a rep. It's been over
520. So I asked Crawford, who's older in boxing years? He goes, he is definitely, he's been a pro. He turned pro when he was 15. I
buckled him. Mean machine. That should have been scored a knockdown. Crawford is a great offensive fighter. He is not a great defensive fighter. And Canelo Alvarez is a monster puncher, and he's a big-time body puncher. And I think that could be
to win the exchanges inside. You know, he can't let Crawford hurt him or get off those good shots inside. He got to dominate that.
And Mark, those are big guys. That's a 200
you out. Maybe, but maybe not. And we have not seen it for a while.
And you've got to be there to be hit, Mike.
Yeah, exactly.
Not seen it for a while.
And you've got to be there to be hit, Mike.
Yeah, exactly. And look, obviously Terence Crawford is way more skillful than those guys you mentioned. But it doesn't matter how skillful you are. Way more skillful than those guys you mentioned. But it doesn't matter how skillful you are, because if you get hit right on the chin, it only takes one punch. And temperament will on the chin. It only takes one punch. And temperament will make him vulnerable at one point in this fight.
Yes, he is a disciplined fighter, though, and Canelo is no stranger to taking
point in this fight.
Yes, he is a disciplined fighter, though, and Canelo is no stranger to taking big risks himself. Big risks himself.
And he's been that for many, many years now.
That's the winning recipe.
And he's been that for many, many years now.
That's the winning recipe at the end of the day, Mike.
Yeah, and look, we've heard it for years, right, Mario? It's a
Now you must recognize me. In Crawford's mind, the jump is so big, and again, it's big, and again, it's without any of the nonsense clauses we've become, without any of the nonsense clauses we've become accustomed to. What he's demanding is like, hey, I'm an immortal. I win this. He's demanding is like, hey, I'm an immortal. I win this. I'm an immortal. I think conversely, there is great risk for Canelo. It's like, hey, if you didn't want the big guy in Benavidez, you better beat up the small guy. And my rations of Mexican fighters, including Julio Cesar Chavez, but people lose sight of the fact that Canelo came up in a very old school way. Of the fact that Canelo came up in a very old school way, fighting for money at 15 years old.
Absolutely. Guadalajara, Jalisco, Mexico. He had it growing up. Very, very tough. That's why he turned to the sport so young. And there's no denying he's been the biggest box office star in Mexico. So hopefully make an excuse for the loser in almost every one of the fights on this list. If Canelo does lose, he does so without one. So how could Crawford's added weight affect him in the ring?
His added weight is going to allow him to take more shots from Canelo and have him stay around a lot longer. You know what I mean? If that chin holds up. I still don't know if he can take a clean shot from Canelo Alvarez, and that remains to be seen. But if he can, that changes the dynamics of the game.
That's exactly right. And Mark, just because of the added weight, it doesn't necessarily mean it'll translate to the...
But Terence Crawford, when he went up to 147, he somehow added a ton of power. We didn't see that as one fight, what you called a pit stop at 154, but just maybe he has power at 168.
Well, Antonio, what are the keys to victory for Bud Crawford tomorrow night?
I just think Bud has to be Bud, but he has to do it in a real aggressive fashion. You know, he got to let both hands go. He can't afford to stay there too long. He got to get his and get gone. I think it's the Matador and the Bull. That's the only way I can see it. Him giving him angles, turning Canelo into him, and winning those exchanges. And he can't get hurt.
Say something bad about me. And he has I've never seen anyone with quite the mindset of Terence Crawford. I think it begins in Omaha, which was absolutely nowhere in the boxing world before he made it somewhere. But even more than that, it begins with his mother. And he'll tell you the story when he goes to win his first title in Scotland against Ricky Burns, a Scottish champion. And all alone, his mom tells him, like, you know, you're just going to get your butt kicked. And look, she'll tell you, Mrs. Crawford will tell you, like, I was just trying to motivate him. And she did. Terence will tell you the same thing, that the whole time he was searching for his mother's love, his mother's respect.
There's more to Bud than just the knockouts and the victories.
13 months ago, Crawford sat down with Turki Al-Sheikh after the Madrimal fight, for which my friend over here, Coppinger, is dogging Crawford. And Turki says, who do you
have weight classes heavier than he was for his first?
To fire back, that's it.
And if conventional wisdom doesn't apply here, it's because there's never been a fighter quite like him. He's got it all. Takai, from beneficent patriarch, pillar of the community.
He was brought up in the tough streets of Omaha. Guy who was born with an inner fire.
To merciless predator.
The left, the right.
There you have it. All these other guys look at Canelo as a payday, a score. Crawford sees him as his white whale, the thing he has to destroy. That doesn't mean that he's unreasonable. He has a pretty sober sense of what he has to do tomorrow night. He has to bank.
I'm saying this is the next guy. You have to meet him. And when I met Crawford in Omaha, I was struck right away by his incredible, compulsive competitiveness.
And
boxing. You know, most of us boxing. You know, most of us get this legendary status.
It's one of the things that because Canelo has become such a
massive puncher, and again, he earned his place as the face of boxing, and I think it's something he really takes very seriously. I think you have to give him a lot of credit, and it's one of the hallmarks of Canelo's legacy, because you see a lot of other guys.
One shot.
And now that makes sense. He's trying to make up for all that lost time. And he could have been one of the best fighters in the world, but just wasn't getting the recognition.
He is one of the best fighters in the world.
But I'm saying
and
back
he's made
then,
it the hard way.
Yes, sir.
I mean, you tell me about Gamboa. Okay, it's a long time ago. If you've never seen him down, if you've never...
In Mexico, boxing is more than a sport. It's an identity. And for years, one man sat at the heart of that devotion. Julio Cesar Chavez, a fighter of the people. El verdadero guerrero de Culiacán. He wasn't just unbeaten for 90 fights. He was untouchable.
Siempre pues tenía a todo México detrás de mí. Era algo increíble.
Undisputed at 168, an evolution from the conversation. Who is Mexico's greatest? Maybe this is a lineage. From El Gran Campeón, maybe this is a lineage. From El Gran Campeón to Canelo.
Cada quien hace su historia. Somos diferentes peleadores. Cada quien hace su historia. Somos diferentes peleadores.
Chavez's shadow. Chavez's shadow. He's casting one of his own. Chavez's shadow. He's casting one of his own. He's casting one of his own.
And now we welcome Callum Walsh to the dance. And now we welcome Callum Walsh to the dance.
To give the fans what they want. To give the fans what they want. And I'm looking forward to it.
Absolutely.
Cork, okay. I am. You said something in the fighter meetings that struck me. Deep down, Vargas knows I'm going to win. He knows he's in too deep. What did you see in his eyes up there today?
Yeah, you know, I think he's he believes he can win. Well, he hopes he can win. You know, I think if he can win, well, he hopes he can win. You know, I think he's enjoying the spotlight here. He's enjoying the spotlight here a bit too much. You know, I see him in the back. He's messing around with him in the back. He's messing around with the brothers, you know, and they're all enjoying it while they can, I think. You know, I think he's trying to get at the brothers, you know, and they're all enjoying it while they can, I think. You know, I think he's trying to get as much promotion from this as possible. Because when we get into the ring, it's just going to be me and him. I'm here by as possible. Because when we get into the ring, it's just going to be me and him. I'm here by myself, with just my coaches, and I'm ready for team, you know, and I'm very with just my coaches, and I'm ready for team, you know, and I'm very honored to be here. I'm very honored to be here. I'm very appreciative of the opportunity. You know, this is massive for me. Appreciative of the opportunity. You know, this is massive for me. The co-main event, you know, on the Canelo Crawford card is.
Country on those days is amazing. And I'm very proud about represent my country. Green, white, and red. No, if you can see every fight, when it is Mexican there, it's very different. No, the way they support you, the way they share, they will do everything with the mariachi, with the banda, with the norteño, everything in the streets. It's a lot of love. We have a lot of good fighters in the history of boxing. We have a lot of talents in Mexico, and I'm very proud about being part of them.
Muchas gracias a toda la gente y hay que disfrutar la independencia de México. ¡Viva México,
Oh, and you're going to hear the Mexicans tomorrow night. They're going to be fired up. Someone who I'm fired up to actually see tomorrow, Mark, Christian Mbili might be the best fighter in the world that a lot of people have not heard about. He's the #1 contender to Canelo's weight class, but he's fighting fellow unbeaten fighter Lester Martinez. Mbili is must-see TV.
Mbili is a theatrical, destructive fighter. He grew up hungry in Cameroon. I remember him telling me about sitting down for meals of potatoes with a little bit of salt. He emigrated to France as a 12-year-old. What really catches my attention, though, in Mbili's history is his relation. Now, it's Mbili's turn. And one of the things that gives me great confidence in Mbili is that Mark Ramsey, a coach in Montreal, I don't know how he talks guys into going to Montreal in the winter, but he's been scouting him since the European Championships in 2014. That's 11 years now, and it's about to pay off.
This fight has a potential to steal the night.
Absolutely. Lester Martinez is all action. He never takes a step backward.
As Christian Mbili, I believe, has to put some wrinkles in his game. You know, and when I see him, he's just going forward. I've never seen him box on his back foot yet. You know what I mean? So he's going to have to get some more wrinkles in his game. And as far as Lester Martinez, we're going to see if being a sparring partner for Terence Crawford has really developed him as a fighter. But you don't want to go in there with that sparring partner mentality. And so that may make this fight difficult. But we'll see, can Lester Martinez pull off the upset.
A note on Mbili, because I watched him fight. I covered his fight with Sergey Derevyanchenko.
I can relate, unfortunately, to the torn biceps. Tough guy to continue that fight. Very, very tough. Great undercard, but of course, focus is really on the main event with these two
forever.
It really is, and I think how both gentlemen perform, win or lose, will have a huge, huge effect on the way the public perceives them.
No question. Again, Canelo said it over and over. For years, he said, I don't want to fight Terence Crawford because if I win, they'll say Crawford was too small. And if I lose, they'll say, how did you lose to the smaller man? So Canelo Alvarez, he's going to have to show that he is the best fighter in Mexican history. And just maybe he's still one of the top 2 or 3 best fighters in all of boxing.
Antonio, what do you want to see early from Crawford? Should he be a little cautious and maybe kind of trying to work on the distance, the timing, or should he try to press him and really take the action to Canelo?
I wouldn't say cautious. I think he's going to have his
southpaw, of course, I mean Crawford. And in the past, Lara, Trout, they've given Canelo some issues.
See, I think that's the most admirable part of Canelo's career, when he went out to fight guys who were guaranteed to make him look bad, and he got through it. I think that's how fighters should approach their apprenticeship, even though he was already a star by then. If he can do that, then Canelo's got to chase. And Crawford's such a sharpshooter that when someone's coming at him, you know, when he knows you got to make a move.
I want to see Canelo. We saw against Callum Smith, right? He wasn't just touching Callum Smith to the body and the head. He was going to the shoulders and the biceps, and he actually ruptured.
The memo, he didn't have the memo. He just didn't quite have the game or the ability. I mean, but he went in there with the winner's mentality.
The right mentality.
And I'll tell you what he hit him with.
I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I'm just hoping that he elevates his game, and it's one to remember. I think we can expect the unexpected Saturday night.
Mark.
If Crawford believes in himself this much, then, you know, who am I to doubt the guy? He can do so much from either side. He's longer by a couple of inches at least than Dimitri Bivol. I say Crawford by decision. Possible stoppage late, very late.
Mike?
Mario, Terence Crawford is a great fighter. That's the reason that this fight is even this big in the first place. He's moving up 2 weight classes, but I think Canelo Alvarez is going to win a decision. And we know it's notoriously difficult to win on the cards against Canelo.
Fight in boxing history, so please join us tomorrow, 6 p.m. Eastern, for the YouTube prelims, and then at 9 p.m. Eastern on Netflix for Canelo versus Crawford. Good night, everyone.